Alright guys, welcome to another Sport and Debate podcast on this rainy Sunday afternoon. I got my boy Jesus to the right.
East Coast, that's all we do is rain, and especially after last night, it's definitely raining.
I tell you. And I got my man Steve to the left.
How about them Pacers?
I'm sorry. Let's just mute that out. But first, we gotta take care of those bills. Jesus, you wanna do the honors, sir?
Jeff De La Rosa, keeping it real always. Intricate, offensive, gets you into fights with your lady, gets you into fights with your family, maybe even your church if you're religious. So listen, go cop the book. It'll definitely ruffle some feathers, but it's education at the same time.
Hey.
Amazon.com.
Hey, you know what? We like controversy around here, so that's what we all about. And of course, My Family Story by Lorraine M. Alate. Listen, we all know what's going on with the banks, with the housing crisis. You look around, look at your neighbor's house, you see foreclosure, short sale signs. It's crazy. But please check out her book. It's very informative. You'll learn a lot, even for perspective. Our first-time homeowners as well. It's very informative. Check it out, please. It's available at Amazon.com, hardcover or Kindle.
And music.
I see you bobbing your head over there.
Don't you like that?
It's very melodic.
You guys wanna check that out,
Please,
right?
man.
Right? Yeah. Well, then check out DJ K-Dub. Check him out at SoundCloud.com. /VANLAZ0R. Hey. You guys want to follow him?
Yeah.
Why not? Follow him on Twitter. Go ahead. /LAZ0R Productions. Go check him out.
All right.
Wait a minute, John. What do you have on right there?
Oh man. Dude.
NYC Mint Apparel, baby.
I'm telling you.
Listen, go check out the clothing. I'm telling you, it's worth it. www.mintapparelnyc.com. You're gonna love the clothing that they have there, especially after the depressing night New York City had last night. Guys, this will give you a nice pick-me-up. Go check it out.
Rep your city. Even in a losing effort, still rep your city. Anyway, guys, the bills are paid. I want to get into this Knicks Pacer get. I see Steve. He's over here. He's cheesing. He's cheesing, man. He's cheesing. It's making me sick, guys. But you know what? Jesus and I were big Knicks fans. My heart was broken last night, Steve.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened?
Pretty simple. The Knicks, what we thought they were.
Okay, Dennis.
They were who we thought they were. I'm sorry. They are choke artists. They can't go to the next round. They can't shoot. Carmelo Anthony was, again, not doing his thing. I'm sorry. The Knicks are not that team. Let's just be very honest. When you can't get past the Pacers team and everybody had you going and playing the Heat and, contending for that spot and you can't get past the Pacers and you're struggling shooting the ball, I'm sorry. You're not good enough. Get off the floor. You're not good enough. What's that look over there?
You know what? I'm feeling the heat from Jesus. I'm not even, guys, if you can see me, I'm not even facing Jesus right now, but I can still feel the heat.
What do you got to say?
Jesus, please.
Watch what you say now.
New York Knicks. Okay? New York Knicks, you continue to do it to me. Year in, year out. You give me false hope. I'm sick and tired of it. Okay? There is no reason you should have not won this series. There is no reason it should have even ended in 6. Okay? Going into this game, first of all, Indiana was begging you guys all series to take this series. If I'm not mistaken, Indiana barely hit 90. I mean, yesterday was the first time they were actually scoring. Prior to that, Indiana couldn't score. It was like a WNBA game watching out there. And I love the women's game, but that's what they don't score a lot in that one. It's the same thing. What is going on? You know what happened? It's as simple as this. Exactly what Steve said. A bunch of choke artists. And Steve, the one thing you're wrong about is saying Carmelo Anthony choked. The first 3 quarters, Carmelo Anthony was the best player on the court. Carmelo Anthony was on pace for 50. Wait. I'm ticked off right now. Let me finish. Okay? Carmelo Anthony was on pace for 50+ points. And then what happens? When it counts in the 4th quarter, Carmelo Anthony chokes. He choked. And have I ever said anything negative about Carmelo Anthony prior to this show? I don't believe so. Why? Because I'm the biggest proponent of Carmelo Anthony.
So good,
I support Carmelo Anthony. But yesterday, there's no way to put it other than he choked. Okay? There's a rule in basketball. You never jump up in the air to make a pass. You didn't do it not once. You didn't do it not twice. You did it 3 times. We were up in the game. My main man, Iman Shumpert, said, listen, guys, I got your back. You need a Robin? I'm going to be your Robin tonight, Carmelo. So all of a sudden, he shows up for you, and Carmelo's like, nah. You know what? I want to go on vacation with Lala. I don't want to go to the next round. That's exactly what happened. I'm sick of it. I'm disgusted. The Pacers didn't win this series. The Knicks gave the Pacers the series.
All right, guys. It begs me to ask the question going forward. The Knicks, what pieces do they need to have in place for them to proceed to the next level?
It's very simple. As long as the big three are assembled, there is nothing the Knicks can do. I'm sorry.
My man, they didn't even play the big three.
Exactly.
They didn't even get there.
Exactly. And when they get there, they're still going to lose. Because they're not that good. Let's just be honest. Look, Knicks fans, let's just come to the reality that you're not that good. I'm sorry. You're good enough to make the playoffs. But that's it. You get beat up by the Pacers, and you're going to get beat up by the Heat the following years to come. I'm sorry. You're just not there.
I watched the series, and I think it was a case of Indiana just out-hustling, outplaying the Knicks. They wanted it more.
Look at his sad
I see Jesus.
Look, let me put it to you this way, all right? All right? The Knicks are like the Hawks. They do good enough to make the playoffs, and then now.
I'm gonna let Jesus get it on this one.
Time out.
Go ahead, Jesus.
Steve,
Go ahead.
what was the Knicks record against Miami this year?
No,
What was the Knicks record against Miami? 3-1, right?
Yep.
Okay. What the Atlanta Hawks, did they make it out of the first round of the playoffs this year?
No, they didn't.
Do the Atlanta Hawks have a superstar? Do the Atlanta Hawks have a superstar on their team?
They do not.
They do not have a superstar on the team. Do the Atlanta Hawks have the Atlanta Hawks ever been even considered a threat to win an NBA championship?
They're not.
All right. Does Miami ever struggle with the Atlanta Hawks?
They don't.
So everything I just asked you is no.
But here's the thing.
How can you compare those two?
You do have a superstar, and your superstar hasn't gotten you there. Everybody has been trying to anoint this Knicks team as the next great Knicks team that's gonna get us to the hump. I'm sorry, you guys are not that team. It's very simple. Very simple.
Okay.
All right.
Steve, do me a favor. Stick to your football. I'm going to tell you why. Why are
they going to make it? Why are they going to make it?
Amari Stoudemire's contract has hindered us. You have a guy, you're paying him $20+ million for the season.
That you guys thought was a superstar.
To play, yes, we were wrong. And we were wrong on that.
Okay.
I said that from way back when. So you're not saying nothing new, Steve.
No, okay.
You're not giving us new news here.
No.
Okay. Amari Stoudemire is costing us because that's a guy who should be making $4 to $5 million a year, which gives us then $15 million that we could spread out somewhere else. Unfortunately, we can't do that. We can't move his contract because nobody wants that contract. That contract is like a disease. Everybody wants to stay away from it, okay? Because that's how bad it is. So at the end of the day, until Amari Stoudemire is off the books, the Knicks will continue to be a good regular season team and get bumped in the first or second round of the playoffs, maybe like a lucky 1 year, and make it to the conference finals. And Tyson Chandler, you should be ashamed of yourself. You didn't just get beat. You got beat to a pulp by Roe Hibbert. I'm disgusted in you.
Whew.
All right,
again,
guys.
you're making my points for me.
Steve,
there you go.
Steve will have the last point on this one.
I mean, again, you just hear him saying he's trying to disagree with me, but in the end, he's agreeing with me. The Knicks are just not that team.
But it's not Carmelo. You can't sit here and tell me Carmelo Anthony is.
Look, there are guys who can take their team, to the next level.
And he wasn't doing that yesterday? He wasn't doing that the first 2 quarters?
You just said it.
He choked at the end. Has Carmelo Anthony been to a conference finals?
No.
Guess again, he actually has been to a conference final with the Denver Nuggets and Chauncey Billups. So I know you're trying to get me upset by saying that. Do your research.
On that note, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic, which is fantasy football. Guy, I know.
Before we get to that topic, I guess we have to do our picks, Jay, don't we?
Oh,
can we just do our picks?
Let's do our picks. Let's start with Jesus,
I'm disgusted in there. It's like I've been saying all playoffs. Miami Heat, Memphis Grizzlies. They're advancing. Memphis in 6, Miami in 5. Come on, just whatever.
Oh, you're so mad over there. Look at him. He's so angry.
Mr. Steve.
Of course, I got the Heat, I've been saying it all along. And yes, look at your face over there. They're gonna mow through again. And then on the other side, I actually have the Spurs. The Spurs I feel like they're gonna end up making it. And we'll have LeBron versus the Spurs one more time again.
You know what, guys? With my picks, I feel like I'm building a house and knocking it down again with these picks. Every time I pick someone, they get knocked out. I don't know. But, of course, Miami now has to be the perennial favorite. Out of the West, I didn't pick Memphis to go with Oklahoma City. But seeing what they did to Durant and neutralizing him, I'm gonna have to go with Memphis and Miami for the finals, you know. But with that said, we gotta pay these bills. Of course, Mr. Jesus, you wanna do the honors, of
Jeff
course?
De La Rosa, keeping it real always. Amazon.com. Go check the book.
He's so angry.
Oh man, and of course, My Family Story. Still trying to get over Jesus here. My Family Story by Lorene M. Alate. You know, it's about the housing crisis. It's a very, very passionate account of her family's battle with the banks. Please check it out. I assure you won't regret it. It's available at Amazon.com, hardcover or Kindle. Please check it out, guys.
And again, if you guys like that music, go
Bob in my
check
head.
out DJ K Dub. You can check out his music at soundcloud.com/VANLAZ0R. You can also go to twitter.com/LAZ0R Productions. Go and check him out.
That's right, guys.
Okay.
And of course, www.mintapparelnyc.com. Go check it out. Their clothing line is amazing there. Again, Jeff's book, guys, it's worth it. I'm sorry, I just get so angry and I'm in such a bad mood, just like I was last week. But I'm even more upset this week. But you know what? Go get the book. Go get this clothing. You're repping the East Coast all day, every day.
Alright, guys, the bills are taken care of. Let's get into some fantasy football action here.
Absolutely.
You know, the state of the league address was pretty much almost out there, you know, addressing a few things, but we'll talk about that for another time. But you know, what's on the cards for the upcoming season, Jesus? Let's
all right. Well, I mean, this is you know, Steve and I, we have our own little fantasy league, but this show we're going to give all the fans who have their own leagues out there some information.
Yep.
All right. So I mean, Steve. For some reason, Steve is being stubborn. He insists that you take a quarterback in the first round if you can get a Rodgers or a Breeze, and he's out of his mind. Okay, it's as simple as that. Because yes, these quarterbacks can put up 30, 40 points, but after that, you can get another quarterback who's going to put up 25, 28, 29 points, and then you can get yourself a running back where a running back can give you 25 points, and then the next running back after that's going to give you 10 points, which is a 15-point difference. But Steve rather go with the court. I mean, every expert you talk to says you have to go with a running back in the first round, except this guy who a supposed expert. I don't know.
Steve,
You're gonna come at me like that? All right. Here's let me just drop something. All right.
Throw numbers.
Last year, when everybody decided to pick quarterbacks, all right.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Oh, you need to get your top 3 quarterbacks. There's not going to be a lot of quarterbacks in the league, you know, this year. So get your Breeze, get your Aaron Rodgers, get that. Yeah. What happened? He had a whole influx of guys that blew up and did good, right? Am I not right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this year, now every analyst out there wants you to go running back. Oh, we're going back to the good old days where you get your running back first because, yeah, the rest of the guys are just a crapshoot and you don't know what you're going to get. All right. Now, people out there who do fantasy football, how many times do these experts really get it right? All right, when everybody goes one way, there's that one team who goes the other and they do well. All right, this is why I say you need to get one of those top 3 guys earlier, because these guys they're capable of putting up a 40-point difference where most quarterbacks may average 25. That difference makes up for another position. Okay. So you have to consider it in a lot more facets just than a very simple, oh, you have to get this guy early and then you go this way. No, you have to build it in regards to your team. So if you get this guy, you now know, okay, now I don't need to get this, you know, spend a lot of money or spend a high draft pick on another guy to compensate for him. Okay. I have a quarterback who can, you know, take that little edge off and you can put that money elsewhere and spread it out.
So guys, let me ask you this. Who do you guys think are bargains, quarterback bargains? That they're not the elite of the elite, but they can still get the job done for you on a weekly basis.
Okay, I got it. I mean, it's very simple, and this is why you don't take quarterback in the first round, because you can get a guy like Matt Ryan in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round. You can get a guy like a Matt Ryan in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round. That's why you don't take one early. Because Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers, granted, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. I'm not going to sit here and say he's not a better quarterback. But as far as the difference in points per game, Matt Ryan, remember the first half of the season, and even mostly the second half of the season, he was number 1. He was the number 1 rated quarterback in fantasy points. Towards the end, of course, they started running the ball a little bit more. Last I checked, Michael Turner's not stealing touchdowns there anymore. They got Steven Jackson, but Steven Jackson is not no horse at getting touchdowns. Last time I checked, he's alright, but he ain't no horse at getting touchdowns like Michael Turner is. So they're gonna get you touchdowns there. Now, Steve, I Okay, answer John's question, and then I got something for you. Go ahead.
Well, as far as bargains, you mean like a guy who can put you 20 points a game and get you enough?
Right.
Well, I mean, there are plenty of guys out there. I mean, you can go as low as some of the guys that are going 11th and 12th, 13th. Eli Manning's, Tony Romo's, Andrew Luck's of the world.
Yeah.
But that's if you're okay with going with a 20-point quarterback. If you want a guy now that, you know, hey, 2, 3, 4, 5 games can break the 40-point barrier, that's when you spend the money or the high draft pick on a Drew Brees, because that is an offense where they are all advocating on throwing the ball. You have to get one of those guys. That's if you want to go that route. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on your style. Don't follow what everybody does, because here's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to tell you to go running backs, right? All right. So let's just say you're either 7th in the picks, right? Or you're in a auction league and maybe you're a little bit below the normal amount. Okay. You get the wait. Let me make my point. All right. Everybody makes this run on running backs. Yeah. All right. So you have, let's say, 8th in running back at number 7. CJ Spiller, or you could get a guy in Drew Brees that's a lock 40. You're gonna get CJ Spiller, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
That is dumb.
Yes, I am.
And that's why you lose. Wait. This is why this man right here finally made only one playoff after how many years? 5 years.
Who had the best
5 years.
Who had the best record in the league?
Case done. Case done.
I gotta put up a partition between these guys, like the Berlin Wall.
Number 1 seed last year. Number 1 seed. This guy didn't even make the playoffs. So I don't want to hear it. Now let me continue on. Okay. So yes, you take CJ Spiller, because let's say we do what Steve wants to do. Let's say you take a quarterback in the first round. So at number 7, you take a Drew Brees, okay? So then, Peterson's off the board, Lynch is off the board, Rice is off the board, Doug Martin's off the board, Jamal Charles is off the board, CJ Spiller's off the board, Calvin Johnson's off the board, Alfred Morris is off the board, LaShawn McCoy's off the board. So you come back around, your next pick, Steve, the Tampa's Empire, you're up to pick within the second round. I'm taking Steven Jackson. What? So you're going to take a Steven Jackson? Instead of maybe taking a running back in the first round, then you come back around your second pick. I'll take a Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning and Drew Brees. Of course, Drew Brees is better, but Peyton Manning isn't too far under him. It's called getting the best value at all your picks, not just the number 1 pick, Steve.
Flip that around. How many more, on average, how many more points has Steven Jackson had more over who the guy you were going to say?
CJ Spiller last year? Yeah, I would have to. No. On
average.
Okay, time out.
How is that better?
You're about to get jumped out so bad on this. Oh, you want to know why you're about to get jumped out so bad?
What?
Because last year Fred Jackson was involved in the offense. This year, what did they say? The new coach, what did he say?
What?
This is CJ Spiller's team, baby.
Maybe.
So CJ Spiller is gonna get the touches this year. It's not maybe. That's what he said.
Okay.
So again, if I'm going based on what he said, you can't go based on last year's numbers, because last year's numbers he split the touches.
Okay. It should be both. No, you should be both. It should be. You should base last year and
how
this year
can I base
when
it? I have a new coach.
Decision.
You don't know what this new coach is gonna do.
Exactly. So then why are you taking him that high?
He said
you just said it right there. You just said it right there.
Time out. All right. So let these guys cool off a little bit. How about defenses, guys? Switching lanes a little bit.
Okay.
Top defenses.
Yeah.
Now we all know that the Baltimore Ravens, their staple for many years was defense.
Okay.
And they actually ended up being the Super Bowl champions. But are there any other defenses that you guys have your eyes on?
I don't like Baltimore defense. I don't think that they're going to be, I think you would agree with me, Steve, they're not going to be a top defense. I think Chicago defense, they're going to take a little bit of a slip this year.
Yes.
Last year, they played out of their minds.
Lights out.
They were putting up quarterback numbers week in and week out. That's not happening again this year. I think a defense that's safe, who's going to be consistent, who's going to be good, is the Houston Texans defense.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the defense. If you want to look for somebody that's just going to be a staple, they're going to give you 10, 15 solid points a week. That's where you want to go.
And that, I'm going to backtrack, maybe another one like San Fran defense. Something very solid, a very solid pick. Can get you the interception points, get you the fumble points, the sacks. That's, if you want to take a safe pick, obviously, we all believe that you take your defenses very late, when you absolutely have to. If you're in an auction draft, don't spend more than $2. But, again, I wouldn't pay more than $2 for a defense, but San Fran's a nice good one where if you want to throw the extra dollar or take them, in one of the late rounds, you go ahead and do that. So that's what I would say for defense.
We actually agree. We actually agree.
How about that? I think I even saw an olive branch pass in between while they were
No,
talking.
you did not. No, you did not.
No, I was seeing things. I was just seeing things I wanted to see, guys. But switching thing, one thing I forgot to mention on the offensive side of the ball, very important, very key position. You guys would agree, and that's the wide receiver position.
Mm-hmm.
They could put up a lot of big numbers, make a break an afternoon for you. Make the difference between you starting the week happy or you going into work sad and looking like you lost a family member.
Yes.
So I'm gonna start with Jesus. Who's your best wideout as far as this year's fantasy?
I mean, I think Calvin Johnson is the easy choice because it's Calvin Johnson. So I think he's going to be the number one receiver, hands down. But I think a close second is going to be AJ Green because AJ Green, and I've been saying this, and Steve, I know you don't always agree with me. I've been saying this since he came out.
Yes.
This guy is the next Calvin Johnson, and last year you saw it. This little by little, he's getting better and better. He has the size, he has the speed. This guy will put up Calvin Johnson like numbers as long as Andy Dalton can get some arm strength and work on that accuracy. He's gonna put up Calvin Johnson.
He made
numbers.
some unbelievable catches.
But I want to put an extra thing on what Jesus says. After those two guys, you can slip and wait.
Yes.
You can absolutely wait for a very long time.
Yes.
Hold on. I just want to say. Jesus said yes to Steve point. I continue, Steve. I just had to bask in that a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, with these two guys, I mean, those two guys are they're top of the class. But then, in my opinion, there's a huge drop off from AJ Green to what they have ranked third in Dez Bryant, or depending on who you ask, Brandon Marshall. There's a deep drop off. So you can wait, to get those type of guys later. Spend the early picks on establishing your quarterback and your running back. Wide receiver, if you don't get one of those two guys, you wait.
You sit and wait. But ESPN, I'm sorry, and I'm a proponent of ESPN. What are you thinking?
Yeah,
Dez Bryant ahead of Brandon Marshall?
That's bad.
Dez Bryant ahead of Brandon Marshall?
Julio
Jones? I can understand Julio Jones because you're going to say, well, they have Roddy White. Roddy White's going to take some targets away. But, again, Dez Bryant ahead of Brandon Marshall?
Is that a little bit of that cowboy bias?
It better be because there's no excuse for that. There's absolutely no excuse for that. Again, Dez Bryant ahead of Brandon Marshall. I would put Demaryius Thomas ahead of Dez Bryant.
I would too.
I would put
guys, even with Tony Romo was possibly calling the plays. I mean,
I would Andre Johnson ahead of Dez. I like Dez Bryant, but he doesn't stay on the field. Number one. No. Dez Bryant is a very solid type of receiver, like Steve and I were saying, that you take later on in the draft. But the way they have him ranked here, they have him. You should say you take him in the second or third round.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You let another team do that, so you could get a guy who's probably going to put more points than him. That's just my opinion.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's get into these Bills one more time. That's your fantasy report. We'll still be doing that periodically as the fantasy season gets closer. But of course, Jesus, please do the honor. Tell us about Jeff's book. Tell us about how provocative, how controversial it is.
Keeping it real always. Just be careful when you read this book, okay? Don't give it to someone who you know is not going to be your friend anymore after reading it. It just makes no sense. Maybe give it to someone who you don't want them to be your friend afterwards. You don't know how to break up the friendship, and you're just like, you know what? Let me just slide this in. That's what you want to do. Something like that you want to give them the book to. But I'm telling you, go get it. It's a really good read. Amazon.com. Get the hardcover too, guys.
Okay, also on Amazon.com as well is My Family Story by Lorene M. Alate. Listen, we see the nightly news. We see it in our neighborhoods. The foreclosure, the short sales is out of control, man. You wonder what these banks are doing. Well, read Miss Alate's book and you'll hear her personal account. You hear maybe even some things that you could relate to with sending documents back and forth to the bank. So please check it out. It's available at Amazon.com once again, Kindle or hardcover. Steve, tell us about this music you hear, man.
Yeah, man. You know what's calming me down is this music because every part of me just wants to come across the table and just really fight with Jesus. But this music calms me down.
All right.
You know what? And if you want to check it out, go check out DJ K Dub over at soundcloud.com/VANLAZ0R. You can also follow him at twitter.com/LAZ0R Productions.
All right.
All right, guys, and again, Mint Apparel, www.mintapparelnyc.com. The clothing line, it's up and coming. Forget Tommy Hilfiger, forget Nike, forget Reebok, forget all of those. Go check it out.
All right, guys. Now, for all of those who are fans of the European game, European football, European soccer, that is, the season and many of these European leagues are about to come to a close. A lot of big stars are going to be offered in the summer. Jesus, I'm going to ask you about Mr. Wayne Rooney.
I got some questions for you, Jay.
Oh, okay.
I got some questions because you know what? You're the king when it comes to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Me and Steve, we're going to badger you right now with some questions. We're going to come at you because we count on you when it comes to these questions.
Go ahead.
So, John,
Yeah.
where do you see Wayne Rooney ending up?
Here's the
Because suppose he doesn't want to stay with Man U.
Here's the thing about Wayne Rooney. He's pulled this again. He pulled this in 2011, I believe, after they lost the Champions League final against Barcelona. He said he wasn't happy about the direction the club was going. I actually believe with the new manager, David Moyes, coming in, I actually believe that he may actually stay at Old Trafford at Manchester United. Yeah, and here's my reasoning. Traditionally, English players do not like to go abroad. They don't like to test themselves abroad. You don't see many of them in Spain. You don't see many of them in Italy. You don't see many of them in Germany. Rooney, he knows he has a good at Manchester United. Despite their rival with Robin Van Persie, he was played all over the place in positions that he wasn't ordinarily used in. But Rooney, even in recent days, has started to backtrack and say, well, listen, I'd be willing to work with Moyes and possibly give it a shot. Teams that may be in a running for him, Chelsea.
Yes, Chelsea, baby, come on.
Chelsea is very much a likely destination if he does leave. Arsenal has been in the running, but Arsenal's been linked with everyone from Rooney to the Pope, so we're still skeptical about their interest. But if he does leave Man United, I see Chelsea as the most likely destination. They need a striker.
Okay, I got one for you, man. Okay. I got one for you. So we got a guy who came from that league, went into the United States, named by David Beckham. Yeah. Everybody knows this guy. Done movies. Girls love him. What do you feel about his retirement, man? I mean, tell me your thoughts.
Legacy.
Behind that, man.
I mean,
is he legacy? What is it? What is it?
There's two sides to David Beckham. We have the footballer or the player, and we have the marketing brand. Now, as far as the marketing brand, he was like no other. He was legendary in that respect. As far as the player, there were a lot of players I would rank ahead of Beckham. No disrespect, he was a very good player for United. He was a very good player for Real Madrid. Even when he came with Milan and PSG. And he was very good still at a high level in his upper 30s. But David Beckham, as far as an elite player with Zidane, with the Ronaldos, with the Thierry Henrys, no, he wasn't on that level of that generation. Okay. I'll put him on a B level as far as a footballer. But what he has done that has made his legacy is that he changed the image of the modern day footballer. He has changed the image. Now they're all the glam guys. They like to go out and hit the clubs. They guys are driving Aston Martins. They didn't have that perception before.
Okay, I got one follow-up question to what you just said, and I'm not debating with you because when it comes to this sport, you got me trumped. But I have to ask you this because you're saying you put him at the B level. But to my knowledge, David Beckham has won at everywhere he's ever gone. He won at Man U, he won at Madrid, he won with the Galaxy, and he won with this current team that he's at. So wouldn't you? And then of course he won for his country. Right. So don't you have to say that there is something about the guy that makes him a winner?
He's been in situations where he's at, not taking anything away from him. He's a very good footballer, but at United he had a group of players. He had Ryan Giggs, he had Paul Scholes, he had Dwight York, he had all these guys. Okay. He was always surrounded by talent. Madrid, we know about the Galacticos era where Ronaldo and Zidane and every one of these guys. So with everywhere, with the exception of the Galaxy when he came to the MLS, he's always been surrounded with a significant amount of talent. Okay. That complement his skill set.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, I mean, that's your soccer fix. You'll be seeing that. Tune in
Definitely.
at minimum once a month, maybe even 2 times a month. Who knows?
Hey.
Especially transfer market's right around the corner. So for
Definitely.
you soccer fans out there,
Look out
we
for
got
that.
you.
Look out for that, please.
Absolutely.
Please. And of course, let's get into paying these bills. Jesus, man, tell us about Jeff's book.
One last time,
Beat
guys.
in their heads,
Listen,
man.
go get the hardcover. Keeping It Real Always by Jeff De La Rosa on Amazon.com. I'm probably going to go ahead and I'm going to give that book to Roy Hibbert because I'm mad at him and I want him to know I'm mad at him. I want to offend him. I want to get him upset. I want to get him angry. That's who's getting that book. That's who I recommend giving it to.
Send it to him just in time for the Miami series. And of course, calling all homeowners, prospective homeowners. My Family Story. It's a must-read by Lorene M. Alate. It's available at Amazon.com. Check it out. It's about her family's account, battling with the bank, sending in paperwork after paperwork. You guys know the story, I'm sure. All you listeners out there, please check it out. It's a very telling account, a very, very honest account of her battle with the bank. So please check it out. Amazon hardcover is where you can find that. Steve, what you bopping out to, man?
Yeah, man, if you guys love this music, go ahead, check out DJ K-Dub. You can check out his music at soundcloud.com/VANLAZ0R. You can also follow him at twitter.com/LAZ0R Productions.
Yep.
That's right, guys. And
What's that shirt you
www.mintapparelnyc.com. This shirt right here that I'm repping, the shirt that you rocking, the shirt that Steve's rocking, we got it from there. The one place, the one-stop shop for all your nice clothing.
Love it.
Go check it out. Also, guys, we got some new writers. We got to give them a shout out. We got to show them some love.
Yes, sir.
Our NHL analyst, Matt Ford. Those articles are bananas.
Definitely.
Go check them out
Definitely.
on the NHL page. It's controversial, but it's his opinion, and I love
Yeah,
every bit
absolutely.
of it. And also, you know that book I'm always repping? You know that Keeping It Real Always,
It
that
Real
offensive
Always,
book?
right? Yeah.
Well, guess what? We just signed the author of that.
Yeah,
He's
man.
signed with
Yep.
Sporting Debate, baby.
Yep.
We want some more controversy. So he's with us. He'll be doing everything from NBA, MLB, boxing, you name it, he does it. And make sure you read it. Get offended. Please get offended. Let him know how you feel. Email us, sportingdebate1@gmail.com. It's going to be something great.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
And of course, our Twitter handle, Sporting Debate _ that you can find us at Twitter. Anything you want to know, check out the live sporting updates. Anything. Hey, if you want to interact with us, hey, take a shot at us, please.
All right. Yeah, and if you want to promote your page on our website, again, send us something at sportingdebate1@gmail.com. We will send you a link of quotes or, different quotes and whatnot to get your lovely business on this podcast. So
And we're
definitely
working on
check it
that
out.
mobile site. We promise you guys, we are working on it.
Coming soon.
We've heard your request. We're doing our best. And also for you fans who wanted us to debate certain topics, again, we had the NBA playoffs to throw us off a little bit, but we promise you those
We will
debates
get there.
will get there.
Yes, we will.
All right,
That's our show.
all right. That's our show, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yep.
Everyone's soul is still intact, so we'll be able to do another one for next weekend.
That's right.
But till then, guys, have a blessed, safe week.
All right.
Drive
Adios.
safe. Be safe. Peace.